our niche.
It's what we do.
Yeah.
Just it's fun.
We leave them in suspense.
It makes for a grand entrance, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
How do we explain it? We're perpetually always late.
I don't know. You can just do it. They're used to it. They're used to it by now. They love us. It's okay.
For some reason, they love us.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why. But here we are.
Here we are. Where's our? Oh, there we go, making noise already. Where's our?
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Oh.
Listen here. YouTube is not cooperating. Okay.
Why are you always blaming it on YouTube?
Because it is YouTube, all right.
All right. I'm
gonna drag Brandon over here. So
I'm gonna give you this one. Yeah, put Brandon in the middle, so I look. You know, I'm focused.
You don't want to look cross-eyed when.
No, it'd be terrible. Oh goodness, what is going on, everybody out there in YouTube world? Is Instagram up and running? Instagram will be up and running shortly. How's it going, everybody? It's been one heck of a day, everyone. Tonight we have sitting in with us to discuss stuff and things. This would be Mr. Brandon Davis from comicbook.com.
What's up? Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for devoting an hour to us.
Yeah.
You
We always appreciate the time we get from our guests.
An hour, I say, because sometimes it gets out of hand, and you know.
Yeah, you know. I have set questions, and then I'll have just things rolling in through the chat. So
let's do it, man. I'm up for it.
All right. So, Brandon, actually, you know what? Let's introduce you to everybody who is out there watching, who might not personally know you, or maybe they don't follow you yet. And if you don't follow him,
you should be.
You should be, because Brandon's quite the world traveler right now, man. Why don't you give us a little background on you? Where did the love for this? Where did everything start from?
Where did it start from? Well, I'm with comicbook.com. I host Comic Book Now. It's our Thursday show, among other different live and pre-recorded videos we do. It started, I guess, I just grew up really loving movies, even more so than comics. So when comics kind of came into the picture, when the Marvel movies, like the X-Men, I think was the first one, was one that really got me. And then came Iron Man in 2008. And then I think Guardians of the Galaxy was a big one in 2014. By the end of that year, I was working with comic books. So I just really loved going to the movies. I'd go to the movies with my mom, my friends. I actually really wasn't allowed to go to the movies with my friends without a parent until I was like 16 years old. Thanks, Mom. Hope you're watching.
Okay.
But, yeah, it just came down to love for movies, wanting to be in movies, wanting to make movies, which is something I'm still interested in doing, but just being involved with them in general. So this is all really opened a lot of doors for that, like to meet people who make these awesome films and TV shows like Walking Dead that I do a lot of work with at Comic Book, and getting to go to the set for that, getting to go to the set for various movies. Avengers last year, Thor down in Australia, just stuff that opportunities I would have never thought I'd have come because I've just followed that kind of interest, I guess.
Yeah, so you've real quick, let me drop your handle real quick. So on Twitter, he is at Brandon Davis, capital BD, and then it's the same on Instagram too?
It's all the same. I try to do it all the same everywhere, so that if anybody for some reason wants to find me,
right,
you can find me.
There you go. Yeah, we posted it in the chat for everybody.
I appreciate that.
So if you end up with 5 more followers, you're welcome. Yeah.
Well, hey man, I'll take. Thank you in advance.
So, yeah, so it's been kind of like a whirlwind for you. Has this kind of are you in awe of everything that's happened?
Yeah, man, absolutely. It's crazy. I think the moment that it really hit me, just saying the story, I feel like I'm bragging or something, because it's just one of the craziest things, and I'll never forget it was, I was in Hawaii, and I was at a junket first of all, I was in Hawaii. I grew up pretty broken. I was I'm never going to go to Hawaii. But I was in Hawaii on a trip that was paid for by Sony on behalf of comicbook.com, and I sat down across from Jack Black, The Rock, and Kevin Hart, which just saying that out loud still is pretty crazy to me. But when I sat down, I showed The Rock a picture on my phone that I took with him. I think it was at the time about 3.5 years before that. And it was just I stole a selfie with him while he was walking past me, because I was in the crowd outside of a premiere in Hollywood. It was my first time in California. And I was like, Dwayne, I just want to show you this picture. I am a huge fan. I'm stoked to meet you, so we're going to have fun with this interview. And he actually took a second and he was like, "Oh, you're Brandon, right?" And I was like, hold on. And he was like, yeah, comicbook.com. And Kevin Hart looked at him and was like, "Man, what you talking about?" And The Rock, I have this all on video.
He said, "What you talking about? What you talking about?"
He was like, this kid, he's from comicbook.com. He does this website. He had a shitty apartment in South Carolina, and now he's in Hawaii. And he's grateful to be here. Like, dude, how does The Rock know who I am? And I think it was just because he saw a video that I tweeted earlier that day. But it was a really cool moment.
Right.
So
yeah.
I'm going to take it as The Rock is one of my biggest fans. But I mean, that was just pretty much the moment where I was like, holy crap, this is really cool. But I mean, still, like, the fact that I talked to Kevin Feige a couple days ago, the president of Marvel Studios, like, growing up a huge Marvel fan, being one of the people who gets to go in the room and talk to him, like, I still get nervous about things like that. And it's just like a reality check. Like, how did I get here? How did this happen so quickly? I've only been with comic book for 3.5 years, so it's really happened pretty quick, and I'm so grateful for it, and I have a lot of work left to do.
Yeah, I mean, you're just starting. Basically, if you want to put, you're just starting the beginning pages of your book now. Yeah. You know, and I mean, I could probably say for both of us, you know, I get excited when I see like the things you're doing. Like I saw the interview you did the other day with Kevin and everything like that. You know, you being on set and everything, being able there for the opening, you know, night out there in L.A. Right? I mean, the set they put out for that with Ant-Man was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the premiere of Ant-Man, they had like a fake 4-story building with Giant Man hopping out.
Yeah.
Just seeing stuff like that, I'm like, damn, this is cool.
Yeah.
Just seeing, like, Marvel goes big, Universal and Warner Brothers always go big, but like anytime any movie does a set like that, I get to walk underneath it and like take a picture. I'm like, holy crap, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And you know, props to you and comicbook.com, because I'll tell you right now, because even before we had the prospect of having you on the show, Chris and I would always talk about it because, you know, I mean, we're nerds, whatever. But, you know, we always talk about how rumors get started on TV shows, movies, just around sets and everything like that. And probably our main source for verifying information is through comicbook.com.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
I mean, because, you know, you guys don't post things unless they're credible.
If you post things that aren't credible, you're just, I see that as like you're just a blog trying to make waves. That's fine because everybody has to start somewhere. If you want to make ripples and get noticed, go for it. But I mean, we definitely pride ourselves on our reputation and want to make sure that if we're putting it out there, it's true. Because I've had things where there was once I reported something that I believed was true, and it was like a version of what was happening. It was about an X-Men movie, and I was breaking somebody who was directing it, but he was just writing it, and that feeling of being wrong was one of the worst feelings I've ever had. Yeah. And we definitely never want to do that because people trust us. You know, once you break people's trust, it's really hard to earn it back.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You guys just have this aspect of credibility, I guess would be a good way of explaining it. And so when I see something from comicbook.com, I'm immediately like, you know what, that's pretty cool. They're reporting on it and they're taking the time to find the facts and think it through, and you're not a smut media source, you know.
Yeah, he's not the Inquirer.
I mean, our staff also, like the writing staff, who you don't see their faces all the time, like Jamie, Charlie, Kofi, Megan, J.K. I mean, there's so many, and I'm sorry if anybody watches that I didn't name them. And we have so many around the country. Russ, who's been there since the beginning, and Joe and Jim and Dallas. I mean, all these guys, like, they know their stuff. They pride themselves on being right. And, I mean, everybody in the office is just, like, genuinely a fan of this stuff. And that's how we got to it. So I think that is what lends itself. Because I think the biggest thing, you can get your news really anywhere. Like, you can go to any movie news website that is trusted and get it. I think we take it, the way we differentiate ourselves is by having that knowledge, engaging people. Like, we know what you want to know because we are you. Right. Like, we're fans too, so we know what you want to know. Make sure you put that in the story. Make sure you respond to comments. Make sure you respond to tweets. Doing that stuff, I feel like, is the way to differentiate yourself going forward because it's such a competitive field. Like anybody can go through a blog. There are very many credible websites, and anybody can get their news anywhere. So you have to be different, and you have to be engaged and earn that trust and keep it. Yeah,
I mean, one of the favorite things I enjoy is after The Walking Dead is watching your show that comes on called After the Dead. And I sit there. I have the notifications set up so that when you guys start, my phone lets me know, and I can just sit there and chill and see what maybe things I didn't pick up on. Just listen to you guys talk about whatever just happened. So I mean, that's one of my favorite things to watch that you do is because like I said, most of us are huge Walking Dead fans. I'm a huge Fear fan, and then there's some Fear fans that are here as well. In your opinion, since we're gonna obviously talk about The Walking Dead and Fear,
yeah.
Do you think Fear has really raised the bar in this fourth season? Do you think like the little sister is starting to, become a force?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it started in season 3.
Yeah.
I think Fear the Walking Dead really started to turn things around as soon as Cliff Curtis left the show. And it's not because I don't like Cliff Curtis or anybody didn't like Cliff Curtis, but I think the show was kind of bogged down by it being unclear who the lead of the show was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, is Travis the leader of this show, or is Madison the leader of this show? And when you clearly make Madison the leader and you let her make the tough decisions and you put her in the situations that season 3 put her in, it gave us a protagonist, and we needed that on the show. And then I think in season 4, I don't think the crossover has been as important as people thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
It's been great, and it didn't have to be Morgan Jones. It basically could have been almost anybody in that part. It just enriches that story for people who have been with him for 8 years.
Yeah.
But the stuff they've done, like they've tackled issues of race, they've tackled issues of gender, like things like that. They don't even touch on The Walking Dead.
Right.
And I think both shows are very progressive. Like, how many times you see interracial relationships at the forefront of a show that gets 17 million viewers,
mm-hmm.
gay relationships on a show that gets 17 million viewers, shows that big, taking those things. Because it's becoming more common now, but a lot of people will probably steer clear of that to avoid controversy, I guess. Past at least, and now both shows are pretty brave about it. But Fear, man, the cast on Fear is so good. The writing has been supreme. Like, is it better than The Walking Dead? Maybe in recent years. I think the Negan stuff kind of dragged The Walking Dead out a little bit, but I still liked it. I'm not one of those guys who goes on Reddit and is like, this show's trash now.
Yeah.
But I think Fear has kept the pace better than The Walking Dead has in their both seasons past 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, and for anyone who's watched Fear, obviously the biggest complaint that ever came out was season 1 and 2 really dragging and not being The Walking Dead. And to me, it's like, well, it's not supposed to be The Walking Dead. It's its own identity. This is prior to the outbreak. This is where it began. Yeah. And then so everybody's always like, well, The Walking Dead. It started off, Rick and storyline and blah blah blah. And this one they had to build you into the show, and let these characters develop. What did you think about with Madison being taken out? I mean, apparently she's dead. We don't, it's like they say, you don't know until you see the body, kind of thing. So it's like, do you think she's gone?
Oh, I can tell you she's gone.
Yeah.
She's not coming back. And it's kind of weird because I thought, and this was no fault of Kim Dickens, I think this was writers early on, but I never thought Madison was a very strong character for the show.
Right.
I thought that people didn't like her. I thought she never really, even when they introduced the storyline of her having killed her father to protect her mother, and I thought she was most interesting in season 3 when she was manipulating both groups between the Native Americans and the Otto family.
Yep.
But I just felt like they never really gave her like a Rick Grimes or other just interesting main character type of elements, because I don't know what it was. I felt like something was missing. But then in season 4, they kind of made her really interesting with giving her a purpose to build this stadium and build something for her family, and then they took her away. So I think they may have done that looking back at the response to her from the earlier seasons, because it was pretty common. People didn't really like Madison. Yeah. I love Dickens. I think she's a tremendous actress.
Absolutely.
But Madison never got me as a character.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I would probably say most definitely agree with that. I mean, and I can understand why she wasn't well liked. People just saw her character as either annoying or, I don't know, helicopter mom, whatever you want to call her, kind of thing. But yeah, and I don't know. I was kind of torn between really wanting to gravitate towards her, but every time I felt like I did, she did something that I was just like, come on,
Well, that's like when I hear people talk about Hayden Christensen playing Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars, right?
Mm-hmm.
People always say that, oh, well, Hayden Christensen's such a shitty actor, blah, blah, blah. You know, he played such a whiny character, and I always defend him. I think his acting is actually was pretty phenomenal in the Star Wars movies, and for what he was given, the writers wanted Anakin Skywalker to be this not fan favorite character, and he played it to the best of his ability, and people turned on him. And I think it's kind of the same thing where people are judging the actor based off of the writing and based off of the character.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. Although Anakin really did kind of suck. But
no, he did. He was shitty. He was a shitty character.
But no, I mean I see your point, and I agree with you. I mean I think that it's not the fault of the actor; it's the fault of the writers. And it seemed like they had a big ideas that they just didn't execute.
Yeah.
My thing, in what world would a mother who is apparently so gung ho about protecting her family allow her daughter to just go off on her own in the apocalypse? There's no cell phones. You don't have her location. You can't call her. And then let Nick go in the hot box in season 3. I was like, she would probably fight them.
Yeah.
On that one.
Right.
But I felt like her character choices were inconsistent, which is the writer's call, not Kim Dickens.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, obviously her parting the show. So, and then we talked about, you know, the whole crossover event with Morgan and everything like that. The introduction of Garrett and Jenna. I mean, oh, don't mind my dog. He's letting me know someone's here.
That's the home alarm.
Everybody's
system.
used to the alarm system here.
Top of the line security.
Yeah. So, the introduction of them to the show. I mean, their episode. You know, that they had. You know, their bottle episode, whatever you want to call it, that they had. I think was probably one of the best, well-written, kind of like just well-formed episodes I've ever seen on either of the shows. I mean, that 1 hour gave you pretty much everything you look for in a show.
I completely agree with you. I think that, I mean, and that shows you that bottle episodes can work.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Timing is important, because if you just had Glenn fall off a dumpster and then you want to do a bottle episode the next week that's unrelated, that's kind of a bad choice. But if you have like this other conflict and it's not too pressing of a cliffhanger and you go off to this John and Laura story, you can make it work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was great. And we had Garrett on. One of the wildest things that's ever happened to us personally, was just fired off an Instagram message to him, you know, and was just like, hey, you know, I know you're done filming. Got any spare time? Want to come hang out with us? And like 4 hours later, he was like, sure. It's like, wait a minute.
He's an awesome dude. He's a cool guy, right?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, awesome. That's awesome. That's cool.
So interactive. It was amazing. Let's get to some questions for you.
Cool.
Now, this first question is from Erin, and I have no idea how to read this because Erin is like a super gamer. Because she's got. Do you even understand this? Okay. We're gonna let Ryan read this.
This is my forte.
Okay, go ahead.
So Erin says, so it looks like you play a lot of first-person shooters. Do you play any massive multiplayer online RPGs or that I don't know, MOBAs?
MOBAs, MOBA.
I think the answer is no. I really only play, if I'm playing a game, I'm probably playing Fortnite. I play Call of Duty, and when that comes out with their new, what is it called? Whatever, that blackout mode.
Yeah.
I play out of that. But I play a lot of Fortnite. Just before we started here, I got back-to-back solo wins, and I'm pretty proud of that. But other than that, I don't play too many games.
She just, it's Mobaz, whatever the hell that is. Look.
Sorry to disappoint.
I mean, I'm a gamer, but even I don't know what that is.
Well, I got the first-person shooter part,
yeah,
but then I'm like, MMORPG. I'm like, what is going
massive
on right now?
multiplayer online role-playing game.
Okay, thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
See? Yes.
It's games like Guild Wars and World of Warcraft and things like that.
She also wrote, she goes, I heard, her next question is, I heard you will be directing a music video with Peter Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Have you ever directed before?
Really big news coming up, too. I can't tell you just yet. It's not my place to announce that. But he's got some really cool news that he's going to share soon. But we're doing a music video for his song Aspen, and we're going to shoot it here in Nashville. And it's a really cool. I told him I only wanted to direct one of his. So I wanted to direct one of his music videos, but I told him I only wanted to do it. That we got to tell a story with the video. Because as I was telling you guys before, I really am into acting and filmmaking. It's something I'm really passionate about. So I came up with a story for it. I pitched it over to him, and he really liked it. So in about 3 weeks, he's actually going to come out here to Nashville. We got to find a girl. We're going to cast some female part.
There you go.
They're going to be all sexy together.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do a music video.
What kind of video are you shooting?
What's that?
What kind of video are you really shooting? Is it a music video?
There are some dark websites you might find it. No.
The dark web?
Yeah, it's a cool music video where, I mean, it's going to be tasteful, I hope. But it's a song about, if you listen to the song Aspen, it's about he's very much chasing this girl and trying to get her to come away with him to Aspen.
Yes.
And so we're going to make a video about that.
Yeah, we are, I want to say we're very close with Peter.
Yeah.
You know, when I did the Sonoya Dead Bash back in May on Memorial Day weekend, you know, got to meet a lot of people in person and stuff, and meeting Peter for the first time. He's been on the show, him and James Chen, a few times, and I love Peter's music. I mean, you know, usually our intro we've been doing as people are waiting, you know, for the show. We play like his music in the background for everybody.
Nice.
So I'm excited. That's awesome. I'm happy for actually both of you. I'm happy for Peter. Happy for you. That's great.
And plus, Peter's the reason that we do live podcasts to begin, or video casts to begin with.
We gotta give props to Peter every time because
he's a great dude. He's a really great dude.
Absolutely. So that's cool, man. I hope you guys have fun doing that.
Thank you. I hope it comes out well. And my film career isn't over before it begins.
I think you never directed before. This will be your first time.
I directed a project that we never finished. It was like a 54-hour film festival that we just kind of threw away. But this will be my first time actually directing a real project. Yeah.
Well, good luck on that. I hope it turns out to be everything you guys want it to be.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it.
Actually, where I was just reading something in here. Oh, black and white guy.
Oh,
right?
you want to scroll?
Yeah. What was Gay asking? Do you know Robin Overton?
Robin Overton.
Black and white guy.
I know the name. I've heard the name.
He's an artist. So what's the message?
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Urgent message. If you can type, tell them, Mr. Oh, it was for us? Was it a message for us or a message for?
I don't know.
Oh, all right. Well, tell Robin thank you for tuning in. Even if he can't right now, I know he'll watch later. Robin's he's one of the main artists for Walker Stalker Con.
Him and his wife become very good friends of ours.
Yeah, him and his wife they're at all the cons and stuff like that. So, and all of his work is in black and white because we found out that he's colorblind.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah. So there's that.
That's awesome that he pursued art with colorblind.
And his stuff is amazing.
That's awesome.
All right, so now we're gonna line up some of Linda's questions. Now I warn you, Linda is fire with her questions. She is our question connoisseur. She's like Linda's out in France, so I always have to do a little deciphering,
Franglish translation.
Yeah, but Renee does a really good job, so it's okay.
Yeah, Renee does do a very good job.
So here's your first question from Linda. Are you Team DC or Team Marvel? Pretty sure I know this, but go ahead.
Wow, I wonder.
I tell you. I mean, in terms of comics, I think I'm Team DC.
Mm-hmm.
But in movies, I feel like there's no question it's Marvel. I feel like everybody should be at this point. I want them both to be very good. I know DC fans can get very touchy with that and think that I'm like rooting against them or something. No. Nope. I enjoyed Justice League. Yeah. I didn't think it was a very compelling movie, but I had fun watching it.
You can say Warner Brothers screwed it up.
He can't say that.
Possibly.
No, he can't. No way, he can't say that.
Anything's possible. But no, I mean, dude, Marvel movies, 20 movies in, and I mean, maybe there's like 2 that I was like, that one was just okay. All the rest are like, let's watch it again, right?
Yeah.
And it was just so I watched. It's the 20th movie they've made.
Yep. And
it's the best second movie in the single heroes franchise, I think, since The Winter Soldier. It's really good. Yeah. And it's so they have 3 this year. They're all completely different, and this one is just as good. Well, maybe not as good as Infinity War. That's a high bar. Yeah. But I mean, Team Marvel.
There you go. No, and I just heard that they're in the next 3 years. they're going to release an additional 9 movies.
Yeah.
They're going to be 3 movies a year going forward.
Yep.
That is an incredible pace to hold.
It's crazy.
I mean, I give them props because Marvel has the momentum going in the movies, and that's kind of their thing. Like I will always say that I think Marvel makes better movies. I think DC makes better TV shows. And I think DC makes better animated movies. Just my personal opinion.
Oh, animated movies, DC all the way.
Yeah.
DC animated movies are fantastic. There's been a couple duds in the past couple of years, but overall, DC animated films are far, they're really, really good.
Yeah.
I mean, The Killing Joke wasn't as good as any of us wanted it to be, but
no. I mean, it was very good. I was a big fan of the actual comic book series, The Killing Joke, and I had a lot of expectations for it that it didn't meet, but it was still pretty good.
Yeah, that might be like this. It might just be us holding it to a certain standard because we got a certain experience. And, you kind of fill in the blanks in your own head when you read a comic book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they're never gonna get exactly what you were thinking and what you made that you fell in love with in your mind too. Like you fell in love with the pages, but you also filled in the blanks.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to do that. But I don't know. Yeah, that one didn't land.
Yeah. That's why I tell people that all the time when they talk about The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And they want to talk about how gory the TV show is and all that stuff and how bad, and how they can't watch it because of this or that. Even the people who complained after Negan showed up and took out Abraham and Glenn, I'm like, do you have any idea how dark that comic is?
Do you know how bad this show could be if they saw the comics?
Do you know this show should be on like HBO? Like that's how bad this show could be. It should be on HBO.
That issue 100, I think I started reading the comics at a current, like when they were being printed in like issue 97, which is when Abraham died.
Yeah.
Yep.
And at the time, I don't even think I knew who Abraham was because he wasn't on the show yet. And then the 4th issue I read was issue 100, and I was like, I don't know if I want to read this. Is dark.
Yeah.
But then, like you start to appreciate it, and then everybody was like, we want it on the show. Do it exactly like that on the show. And they were like, why'd you do it like that on the show? You can't make anybody happy. It's impossible. It's just impossible.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I go, if you want to know how bad the comic is compared to the show, go read the part where Michonne goes and finds the governor.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And tell me if you would have enjoyed watching that on TV.
I want to see David Morrissey just get his penis hammered through a chair.
Right?
Yeah.
How would that have felt for everybody? Would you have liked watching her hammer his penis through a chair?
Just thinking about it, I don't.
You know what I mean?
And I mean,
keep it.
Who was it? Gregory in the comics? Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
He gets hung from a tree.
Hung upside down, and then he gets and then I believe they pull his tongue out of his neck.
Or something. And I remember when I first saw that, I'm like, oh God.
It's crazy.
I like gory stuff, but that was like, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
How would you feel if that happens on the show?
I would like it. I mean, I like Xander Berkeley a lot, but
yeah, I love Xander.
Because we can differentiate between an actor and a character.
Yes.
Just saying.
Just saying. We do have people who have that reality problem.
There are people like that. There definitely are.
It's scary. It's like you do realize that's not who he is, right? You get it? We got a few questions. Chelsea says hello, by the way, and she wants me to ask you what your favorite Marvel movie is.
It doesn't have to be an MCU movie, though.
Yeah.
That's such. She asked me that on Twitter. Actually, I didn't answer it because it always depends what side of the bed I get up on. But hi, Chelsea, big fan. Thank you for your question. Honestly, I think it's hard to pick one. It's got to be either the Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, the first Avengers, Civil War, or Spider-Man: Homecoming. I think it's got to be one of those, and it all depends. I can rank every movie in order, and then you can ask me again to do it again tomorrow and not put that list in front of me, and it's going to be different. But it's definitely one of those. Probably Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War is my top 3, and then it would have to be probably because it just came out would be Infinity War number 1, and then
I forgot Infinity War. Man, Infinity War actually has to be my favorite. I think my boy Thanos.
Yeah.
Just freaking have it.
And the follow-up question from Chelsea. She wants to know what your favorite Infinity Stone is.
My favorite Infinity Stone. Oh God.
Mine would be the Reality Stone.
Mine would be Time.
I think mine would be Time.
Yeah.
I think if I could have one, I would take the Time Stone.
I'd like to mess with people's reality. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
you
know.
can do that with the time stuff.
Yeah, that's true. You can do that too. Yeah, you can definitely mess up everyone's timeline. Period. I got you.
You make a mistake at work.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, anybody who watched Deadpool 2 saw that he can kind of mess around with time as well a little bit.
With Cable's time traveling.
What'd you think of Deadpool 2? Better than the first
I
one?
would go back in 2008 and make my own Iron Man movie and be like, you guys are not going to believe what I turned this into.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. I would probably make myself, I don't know. I would make myself Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like,
you're almost there.
No, I wish.
Yep.
I would love to have lived that guy's life. Like 6 Olympias, and you know what I mean? Like, come on.
I only want to live his life in like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, exactly. And then make
I don't know if I want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger today.
No, not now. Definitely back then.
I will forever say, though, that Chris had a shout-out from Cooper Andrews at Walker Stalker Chicago this past year, where Cooper Andrews said he would be afraid to fight Chris in an arm wrestling competition.
The guy's a monster. And he
I don't know, dude. I think you might take him. Cooper's like a big teddy bear, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, you look like you could kill somebody.
Look, I've had my moments. I promise. No, I'm just kidding. Everyday Rick Grimes, our boy Dave, has a question for you. He wants to know: are you more excited for Wonder Woman 1984 or Aquaman?
Flashpoint.
That's tough because I don't know very much about Wonder Woman in 1984 yet.
Yeah.
I feel like Aquaman. I got to go to the set of Aquaman, and we're still not supposed to talk about that like a year later, which just nuts. But any day now, I'll be able to talk about that. But what I know about Aquaman is all very exciting. It looks like a fantastic movie. James Wan really put some really cool touches of everything he's done before, especially little aspects of horror into it. And what I've seen the trailer for Aquaman.
Yeah.
Just looks so cool.
It does.
But it's hard not to get excited for Wonder Woman. I mean, the first one was so good, and these images that are popping up, her new costume looks great. It's like bright and colorful. And it's like, oh, this is the Wonder Woman we've always wanted.
Yeah.
And we're just building on what we already had in the first movie. So it's really tough. I mean, I feel like we know more of what we're going to get with Wonder Woman, and I'm more of the first experience is always the best experience. So it might go to Aquaman for that reason. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I think that's part of the problem that DC finds themselves in right now, is that they have actors like Jason Momoa, who's playing Aquaman. They have actresses like Gal Gadot, who's playing Wonder Woman. And they have all these phenomenal actors and actresses, and it was poorly executed.
Yeah.
And it's no fault of the actor or actress. It's just,
They even had such a great mustache, and they didn't use it.
See, for me, like Wonder Woman...
Terrible CGI.
Yeah, I mean, Wonder Woman was good. I think it was just too long.
Yeah.
Like, I think they could have... I don't know. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. And I don't enjoy DC movies, like, at all, usually.
Yeah.
they just lose me completely.
Chelsea had a good point, too. She goes, as a girl, it's always exciting to see a leading woman superhero, which I agree with.
Yeah.
And, this was a fan theory that I had read, and I heard a lot of people talk about it. And it was a fan theory of mine, was that after Batman vs. Superman and Superman died, that a lot of people thought that Supergirl, his cousin, was going to come back and make her big screen appearance, and that she was actually going to help resurrect Kal-El, or Superman. And I thought that would be badass to see another strong female lead come into the fold. And it was very anticlimactic of him coming back, I think. I think it was just kind of like, all right, I'm back.
There was a lot of reshoots on that movie. A lot of reshoots. And I don't know if they ever shot that, but I did hear that rumor.
Yeah.
And the scene where Superman came back was one of the... as you can tell by the mustache, that was one of the scenes that got reshot. And I would love to see what Zack Snyder would have done. I don't know if it would have been good.
Yeah.
But that was probably a casualty of the reshoots and the changes to the movie. But also, to Chelsea's point, if you take Wonder Woman and you put any male superhero into that, do you think it's as good of a movie and people are as excited? I personally don't. I think that the movie was good. It was a very good movie.
Yeah.
But if you with the fact that we have the female hero, it's that much more exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's part of what made Wonder Woman so successful and exciting was we've never seen this before. Like, let's face it, we've never seen this before from a female hero. And I'll tell you, in 2 weeks, the Wasp is about to give Wonder Woman, or in a week, the Wasp is about to give Wonder Woman a run for her money. She's good in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, and then, well, I mean, if you look further down the road, too, we have Captain Marvel, coming, and, from what I hear, what I've been reading, everything I've, been hearing about it, it's she's really going to be, like, a really key part, obviously, in the future of Marvel itself, not just in Infinity War.
But even after Infinity War,
even looking down the road. And I mean, I love it because you don't have a complete comic world. You know what I mean? If you don't, there's even going to be a Black Widow coming out further down the road. That I've heard.
I've been waiting for that.
I think my only problem with that is that she's been so involved in the movies.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like it's coming out too late.
Yeah.
I wish they would have done it earlier. But I'm still looking forward to it, obviously. I just wish it would have been something that they could have done a little bit sooner than waiting. I think it's going to be like another couple of years, from what I understand.
I mean, you look at their upcoming schedule. They start production on Spider-Man Far From Home in a week and a half. And then they have Guardians of the Galaxy 3 right after that.
Yep.
It's like, where does that fit, know? And where does it fit in the timeline, too? Because I think it's fun to get that movie, but at the same time, I feel like I've seen a lot of Black Widow, and there are other characters we can pull from. Yep. Scarlett Johansson definitely deserves it. She's earned it. So absolutely. I have no problem with them giving it to her. And I will watch that movie. Obviously, I'm going to watch the crap out of it. But I don't know. I'm ready to see Moon Knight and Nova. And even female.
Yes. Moon Knight would be amazing.
Yep.
All right, so we definitely strayed off course, but it's okay. It's okay. We do this, and they love it. It's fine.
That's how we get our best show.
I hope I'm not boring anybody.
No, the chat's just moving, man. They're loving it.
Chelsea, really quick, just had a really good point. That it's cool seeing little girls, because when she went to see Wonder Woman, there's a lot of little girls dressed up as her, and they brought sword and shields in, and she said it was cool seeing the younger generation being inspired by female warriors. And,
absolutely.
You don't have to be this badass demigod or goddess to be a warrior. You know what I mean? It's very cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I don't forget this. I mean, that's not just limited to female superheroes. That's diversity for just people of different skin color, too. Like, I remember when John Boyega took off his Stormtrooper helmet in the Star Wars Force Awakens trailer, and I was at a Comic-Con a couple weeks later, and I saw maybe like an 8-year-old black kid dressed as a Stormtrooper. Yeah. And people were like, this is why that's important. Yeah. And it's true.
I agree.
I mean, like, you're an 8-year-old black kid before Star Wars. How many black heroes did you have on screen? You didn't have Black Panther yet. Yeah. I guess you had James Rhodes, War Machine, and you're just looking at a bunch of white dudes being superheroes. And it's like, you can dress up as Iron Man, but I don't know, do you feel that same, I can't speak to it, but do you feel that same connection to the hero?
For a long time, and I feel like this is something that, another thing looking outside the box, where these types of worlds have really helped the younger generations, because when we grew up, when I grew up, comics were your getaway. We didn't have, Nintendo came out in the 80s and everything like that, but, and before that, there was Atari or whatever, but comics were like your main, fantasy world. You sit down with your favorite comic and whatever it was, the X-Men, didn't matter. And that was your escape. That was your little, half an hour or an hour away from, your reality, and then comics dropped off, and you didn't see too much of it with, like the youth growing up anymore. And now you see the resurgence in the movies, the comics alone. They're rewriting the comics. They're bringing back, characters that have died. They're bringing back Wolverine and all these things, and now you're seeing a resurgence in the children as well. And I love it because, that it's a part of me. It was a part of me growing up. So I love seeing the, kids 20 years later, these little kids, wanting to be whoever they want to be. Yeah. It's great.
And I love seeing
being a geek becomes so cool. I'm so happy to be alive right now.
Right?
Like, we're the new cool kids, dude. And I love that.
I love seeing kids put the phone down.
Yeah.
And grabbing an old-fashioned comic book.
Yeah.
And also with kids, with these movies being diverse and comics coming back, One thing I'm curious to see, I want to look at. I would love to look at like a statistic. I hope someone keeps track of it, and in 10 years I get my answer. But the same way that like hip hop music inspired so many young black kids to become musicians back in the 90s and the 80s, I want to know if movies like Black Panther and all these other movies that we're seeing so much diversity in will inspire young kids who may not have thought they could pursue film before to do that. You know, because the representation is finally there. It's getting there. I don't think it's 100% yet, but we're seeing it. Movies like Moonlight at the Academy Awards, an entirely black Marvel movie being one of the biggest movies of the year. Yeah. So I'm really curious to see if that impacts, like, what if we see an uptick in the percentage of minorities in film school who now see this diversity in film, both on screen and behind the camera. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Even the new Miles Morales, you know, that we saw the
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse. That looks
awesome.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
So, you know, all things right now as far as that area are really pointing in the upward direction, and I just, you know, I hope the youth keep catching on to it and just kind of, you know, going with it, and instead of, you know, not for nothing, I know video games are great, but, you know, I have an 11-year-old, and the fact, you know, I just have to like be like, hey, you know, it's been enough. Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's go do something else. And I mean, he's been good. He reads books. He writes. You know, and then after he's done reading a couple of chapters, I make him write about it. You know, I know that video games are a great distraction for a busy parent, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you got to put a timer on that stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the questions. Which of the superheroes would you have wanted to embody in the movies if you had the opportunity?
Oh, man. Like, if I could play a superhero in one of the movies?
Yep.
Oh, man. I mean, it would have to be Iron Man. Like, it just... And Junior does such a good job. I wouldn't be nearly as good.
We're like this right now, man. We're like this.
Dude, I mean, like, seriously, that, for me, like, I remember watching that movie in 2008, and I was like, dude, I want to be him. And, like, yeah, he's got flaws, but, like, dude, he was cool as hell. Like, he got girls. He was rich. Like, he had his issues. Like, we all have our issues. I have my issues. Got issues with my parents and whatever we got going on. But, man, he just seemed so cool. And then all of a sudden he could fly, and he was, like, bringing world peace. And it was like, dude, that's, like, why not? Why not be? I can't imagine anybody else you'd want to be.
Yeah. I mean, he would be, I guess, the Batman. Right? I mean, like, money... intelligence, you know.
Being Bruce Wayne would be pretty good.
Yeah.
I've always said that like Iron Man and Bruce Wayne are synonymous.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As far as like comic book counterparts, I would say that Iron Man and Batman are synonymous in many different ways.
Yeah.
They have so much in common, like
the Playboy kind of thing and the money.
Same character, different suit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah, pretty much.
One of the main differences is that Tony Stark makes his own gear. He makes his own stuff.
Right.
In the comics, it's usually, you know, Wayne Industries or Wayne Tech or Lucian Fox. I can't remember.
Yeah. But strip them of the suit, and Batman and Bruce Wayne kicks Tony Stark's ass.
Yeah, but that's because he knows like 1,010,000 forms of martial arts. But that's
right.
Well, you know, tomato.
If I had to choose, you know what Marvel character
I
would be?
still want to be Iron Man, dude. There's nothing better than going like this and taking off. And,
you know?
Batman can't do that.
It's true.
You know what Marvel character I would be if I could?
Who?
Doctor Strange.
Oh.
I've always been fascinated by mysticism, and I think it would just be badass that, you know, you need to get somewhere, and you just walk through and you're there. You know, it's just...
Yeah, well...
I don't know, I think it's pretty badass.
When I was little, I wanted to be Jean Grey, because I really wanted to move stuff with my mind. And I still, like, daily, I'll check that just to make sure I haven't developed that power. Like, I'll just sit here and be like, nope, still don't have it.
Damn.
Yeah.
He's got a calendar. Days to being Jean Grey.
Oh, boy. All right. So we're going to dive back into The Walking Dead. Linda wants to know, how do you see the departure of Rick Grimes? Do you think they'll do something where it's a Walker kind of kill? Do you think that it's maybe a Maggie kind of situation where you saw that little triangle of deceptiveness at the end of last season with maybe Maggie, Jesus, or Daryl? So I guess she's, you know, trying to have you speculate on what possibly you think is the departure for Rick Grimes.
You know, I don't think Rick's gonna die. It's tricky. I don't think he's gonna die. I think he might leave and have the door open to come back. But how you get him to leave without taking Judith and Michonne with him is very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But there might be circumstances that require it. And everybody suspects this Shane Walsh cameo appearance, which is awesome. It is an awesome appearance. I can tell you that right now. It's really good. I can't even say that. But it's really cool. But I think that if you are on your deathbed and all of a sudden the guy who banged your wife shows up and he's like, "You want to come to the afterlife with me, Rick?" You might find a new reason to live.
Right.
So I just think don't count Rick out just yet. That's what I think. I think he might be out of the show, but he's not out of the world.
Yeah, there's definitely been a huge following of that, where it's like he might leave, more than he might die, kind of thing. So,
I mean, and he might not go alone. Lauren Cohen, supposedly. Maggie might be going too.
And I mean, what did you take away from that scene where at the end of season 8, where she has that little discussion with Jesus and Daryl? What did you take away from that?
And after reading the comic for so many years and watching the show for so many years, I just took it as classic Walking Dead cliffhanger that isn't going to pay off. Right. And there are cliffhangers that do pay off. There's a lot of times where they give you a cliffhanger to hook you for next time. But mostly in the comics, how many times do you flip through 90% of the pages to get to the last 2 where you're like, oh shit, something's going down, I got to read next month. And then you read the first 3 pages of next month and you're like, well, that didn't pan out to anything big.
Yeah.
I feel like that happens all the time. And it's a good way to keep people interested, but that's what I felt like watching that. I was like, and they also had an alternate ending to that, which wasn't that, but it would have just been more confusing. So I think they just needed a way to kind of hook you for next season to show there's going to be some sort of continuation of the story, because that was a great stepping off point, that season 8 finale for fans. Like, there was no conflict set up. There was a resolution to literally everything the show has done. And they needed to tease something, and they didn't tease the Whisperers. So I think they just needed to plant something in fans' heads, which it's going to be a factor, I think, but I don't think it's going to be the main narrative. I don't think you're going to get Rick versus Maggie Civil War season 9. I don't think that by any means is going to be the main point of the story.
Okay. All right.
Just really quick, 2 years ago at 2016 New York Comic Con, my buddies and I were at the Punisher panel. And it was right before Punisher had come out, I believe. It was when he made his cameo in Daredevil. And John Bernthal walks out and does his thing with the host and everything. And then they goes to the fan questions. And so the moderator goes, okay, we have time for like 2 more questions or whatever. And he was like, what's that? Rapid fire questions, go! And he just starts taking 20 questions. And someone was like, is Judith... And he goes, yeah, she's mine. Next question. Then I started cracking up. I was like, that's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. You're definitely gonna like his scene if you like that.
And obviously, there, a lot of people, they're talking about in the chat about him being seen in photos and on set and all this stuff. So everybody's thinking, oh, it's flashbacks, it's this, it's that. So let's just say he's there for some reason, and we'll find out why in season 9. So, and that was actually one of Linda's next questions is the future scene between Shane and Rick. Do you think this is a dream or a flashback? And
combination maybe
could be, yeah. I mean, look,
maybe he's not the only one coming back.
Right. I've heard some things that there might be more than him making a return. An appearance.
Well, Michael Cudlitz was on set. I can tell you that. I didn't hear anything about Michael Cudlitz shooting, but Michael Cudlitz was on set a couple weeks ago. But there might be other people who shot some stuff.
Yeah,
Sarah Wayne Callies, maybe.
Oh well, that would definitely lead me to think that it was a flashback if she was around, or she just started haunting Rick again for some reason. But yeah, I don't know. I personally hope that he leaves and doesn't get killed off. If he does get killed off, though, I mean, it's...
I hope they do it the right way.
Yeah.
If they have to
you
kill
want
him
Rick
off,
Grimes to have a Rick Grimes death.
Yeah.
It's epic.
Yeah, if it's not epic, see, for me, the ending with the war was so anticlimactic. I was really, really let down by that.
Yeah.
You had this whole season about a war, and it was over in a blink of an eye. And I was just like, no.
That and the fact that
No.
Rick slit Negan's throat. He didn't scrape his throat, he slit his throat.
Mm.
And that is hard to come back from, even in today's standards. But here comes Sadiq to the rescue. Oh, I'm not a doctor, but I really am, but I'm going to pretend I'm not, and I'm going to patch him up, and it's all going to be fine.
Harsh.
I agree with you. I think that if it wasn't 2.5 years of Negan war, if you think about it, it started in the back half of season 6.
Yep.
This whole thing, this whole Saviors thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it didn't take 2.5 years,
yeah,
that ending would have been, it would have felt like a payoff. It would have felt like retribution. It's all dealing with Glenn and Abraham's deaths, but they stretched it out for 2+ years, and that got frustrating. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
The thing is, people talk down on the show, and I can understand the frustration with the pacing and all that. And I agree with the pacing issues, but there were some very, very good episodes along the way. There were a few real firecracker episodes along the way. So it's like they have the ability to make amazing stories and episodes. I think Angela Kang might actually start doing that more consistently.
Yeah.
Hoping.
Yeah, hoping, for sure.
Because it definitely heard that with her taking over, that, a lot of the writing and a lot of the old style from like season 4 and 5 and stuff like that
a lot more of that
will come back, and that's always that would be nice, because that's when you're really in your prime with The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's a fair. I've seen a few things. That seems like a fair comparison. I've seen a few things from the season, and season 4 or 5's feel definitely seems fair.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure, there's no doubt that there has been a little fall off from the show, and I think that might help bring some of the people back who have decided to turn away from it.
Yeah, that's a challenge, but they're definitely going to try.
Yeah. And I mean, if you have been following Fear, or if you have been pushing off Fear, I tell everybody, give it another shot.
Yeah.
You don't have to start from season 1 again, but give it another shot. Because there's some really good things in season 1 and 2 with Fear that really help you think about The Walking Dead, in their storyline. So it's just like, if you can really just hunker down and, get through those first 2 seasons, season 3 and 4 are a huge payoff.
Oh, absolutely. Totally agree.
All right, Linda wants to know, what would be an ideal end for you for The Walking Dead?
I feel like the season 8 finale was that. Like, I don't know how they do better than that. It just felt like that message to Carl was, and Rick saying he built this world for him and everything, was just really a way to wrap it all up. At this point, I think you just have to rebuild the world. You have to show us that the world is on the way, and that what all Rick's effort was for something.
Yeah.
If you just kill everybody at the end, I'm going to be like, what did I just spend 8 years doing?
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like you have to really conclude Rick's story. You have, and whether he leaves and comes back, or you carry his story on when he dies, that's what this show has been about. I mean, you have to develop characters in the meantime. You have to give Carol some sort of conclusion. You have to give Maggie some sort of conclusion, the characters we've been with. And hopefully we get to know the supporting characters really well and see their stories come to a fitting conclusion where they kind of integrate and find a way to rebuild society together, which they've been doing. But like the Commonwealth in the comics right now, you have to go in that direction at this point. I think you have to expand the world and show us that maybe the last shot of the show is them realizing, like, hey, we can go do what we did here in the rest of the world. Like they've done it, they've thrived, they've built a community, and it's time to go check out Europe. It's time to go check out South America. I don't know, something like that. I think would be really cool.
Yeah.
And it just shows there's a mission for them now, other than just the effort to survive. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Season 8.
That's always one thing that I've always wanted. You know, expand more. You know,
Yeah.
Show more. You know, I don't know. Like, I always think about, like, you know, if you were in this world, you know, send out groups, and, you know, whether they come back in a month or two, maybe they don't come back at all, but if they do come back, you know, have them map the land
Recon groups.
Yeah, recon groups. You know, go out there and survey, see what's out there, and, you know, I've always wished that there was always like this expansion. You know, but I guess that's.
If you came back at this point, it'd be like, you better sit down. You have no idea what you missed.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah, if you came back and they were like, "So there was this war? What? Who's this Negan guy?"
Why is there a million Negans?
Yeah, exactly. And there's this mysterious helicopter flying around
with solar panels and a junkyard.
The helicopter will be back.
Oh,
it's
gotta be.
Absolutely.
The helicopter will be back next season.
They've been teasing helicopters since the very beginning, so it's kind of like, you know, it's like this mythical. It's like the unicorn of The Walking Dead.
It really is. It really is. Yeah.
Really quick, Chelsea had a good question. I think that would kind of go off what we've been talking about.
Okay.
She said, "Do you think if Andrew Lincoln would have said earlier that he was leaving, you know, earlier than he said it, do you think they would have kept Carl alive?"
Ooh.
Well, behind the scenes, they've known this for a while.
Yeah.
So, I don't think so. I don't think it would have influenced that choice. And the Carl thing was really the executive and Scott Gimbel's decision. So, I don't think so. It seems like that would make sense, doesn't it? Like somebody to keep the torch going.
Yeah.
But I don't think they. I think they knew that Andy was going to leave when they made the decision.
I think both things were inevitably going to happen no matter what. I don't think that really could have been prevented on either side of the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Linda's, you know, touched on something else. She's like, do you think with Carl, with Chandler leaving, do you think that was like spurred on maybe one of the reasons why Andrew wanted to step away for a little bit?
I think he's
actually, now that I think of it, Andy's decision may have come, and I don't know this. I'm just speculating.
Yeah.
But the first time I heard of it might have been after they had already filmed Carl's death. And I heard about this a long time ago, at the time where I just thought it was a rumor and I wouldn't have taken it as fact. But Andy's decision may very well have been influenced by Chandler's exit. So they could have actually thought, oh, if Andy's leaving, we might want to keep Chandler so Carl keeps the show going. But I don't know. It's interesting. I would love to just one day, like whenever this show is done and it's gone, both series have concluded and everybody's gone their separate ways, get like a very honest documentary with the producers. Like I think that would be awesome if they really opened up and didn't have to worry about ratings and just told the truth. I think that like just the full truth, because everybody has like their, you know, PR. It's a version of yourself, I think. But,
it's like some of those.
I would love,
it's like some of those secret files that they release every now, like Area 51, like 50 years later. You know,
classified files.
When you know, after you've been doing this for about 40 years, you'll have like your exiting interview will be your dream interview, which would be this. You know, and you know.
Yeah.
And that's when we'll
the one
find
thing
out.
I never told you is that Ryan Reynolds is a dick.
And you've interviewed him, Josh Brolin, right?
Yeah, I got to do Deadpool too. That was really cool. That was a fun junket, and it helps when the movie is good. When you go to like one of those junkets and the movie sucks, and everybody knows the movie sucks,
right?
And you still have to walk in and be like, "Hey, love the movie." They're like, "Thank you so much," but really, you know, they're like, "I know you're lying to me." But so everybody's in a much better mood, and it's much more fun when the movie's really good. So that was a fun junket.
Yeah, I mean, talking to Ryan Reynolds, I mean, is he always just on?
Dude, my interviews with Ryan Reynolds, I feel like we haven't had good interviews. He's like one interview that I just can't seem to tackle because I've interviewed him twice now. We interviewed once for Life. It was him and Jake Gyllenhaal, and they were just messing around the whole time. And I never really walk out of the interview thinking like, I don't feel like I did a good job. And that was one of those interviews. And like I'll walk out, I'll be a little bit like I'm not like cocky about my interviews, but I don't walk out questioning what just happened.
Right.
And that was one where I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. And then I saw him at the Deadpool 2 press, the red carpet, and I had a few questions ready. I texted our editor, and I was like, they said I only get one question. What do you want me to ask? So he wanted me to do, can we curse on here? I don't know if we can.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He wanted me to do Fuck, Marry, Kill, Cable, Thanos, Josh Brolin. So I did that with Ryan Reynolds, and he goes, oh, I fucking hate this game. And I was like, oh, come on. So we never even used the clip. But I was like, damn, I feel like I'm 0 for 2 with Ryan Reynolds. But I mean, he's very nice to everybody.
Yeah.
But
I think he's just Jedi mind funking you, man. I really do.
Dude, he's one of those guys who might be doing that.
Yeah, yeah. He's probably like psych. He's one of the, because I read him as someone who just psychs you out.
He's
like
Professor Xing you.
Yeah, like he psychs you out. Like you get in a room with him, and because he always seems like he's just on. You know, like he doesn't ever have like that. So yeah, let's talk. It's always like he is him. He is on all the time.
Yeah.
I think I have a bad view in my own head of our first interview because when I first sat down, Jake Gyllenhaal went to use the bathroom. So we waited a minute, and him and I were talking, and he asked me where I was from, and I said comicbook.com. I said, we're comicbook.com, we're from Nashville, and we were in Austin, Texas. That's irrelevant. But he was like, oh, yeah, comicbook.com. Yeah, you guys posted a massive fucking spoiler about one of my movies, and I was like, whoa, this is not good. In my head, I was like, panicked. But I was just like, no, what was it? And he was like, yeah, we did this thing for Logan. It was a little teaser for Deadpool 2, and he kind of said it in a way that I could tell he like really believed that it was us, and he was pissed about it. And I would be too if I was him. And he was like, and you guys posted a pirated version of it, and I was like, whoa. And we didn't. We definitely did not.
Right.
So I like, because first of all, if we did, I would not have been at this junket. Fox would never talk to us again if we posted something pirated. And we may have posted like a description of it and said spoilers below, but he said we posted a pirate version. Like, Brian, I promise you, that was not us. He was like, my bad. And I was like, this guy hates me. This guy hates me.
Yeah.
Before we even started. But I don't know. I think I have that in my head.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think I think if you get another one with him, really, I really think I think he's setting you up, man. I think he's really mind fucking you.
He might be, dude. And it's funny because I don't know if you know who Kevin McCarthy is. He does a lot of just movie reviews, interviews for Fox and DC. Yep. He's a great guy. Kevin McCarthy's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in my life. And him and Ryan always have the best interviews. And I am always immediately after Kevin McCarthy. How did you? And then what did I? But they like no, they've been talking to each other for years, so they have a great relationship. And I'm just like, I can't compare it. I gotta get to know this dude. I gotta knock the next one out. I'm not going 0 for 3.
Yeah.
Deadpool, let's do this. But yeah, that's like my one horror story. I don't know if that even counts, but
yeah, no, that I mean, I think I watched them. You know, I laugh. I always think you do a great job. So,
thanks, dude. Thank you.
Well, we're talking about. I mean, you mentioned Fox and stuff like that. So, what do you think? Linda wants to know. What do you think of the takeover that Disney did with Fox? How many more windows do you think that opens in the Marvel movie universe there?
The whole future, right? Because I was kind of wondering, how do they go bigger after Avengers 4? I feel like that has to be like the plateau. Like they may stay as big, but they'll never get bigger unless they get the X-Men. So I think eventually maybe you get Avengers versus X-Men, but it kind of sucks that we won't. It'll be too long from now to see Robert Downey Jr. go face to face with Hugh Jackman. Yeah. But I think they would totally reboot it anyway because they have such good continuity that you can't just bring in this Fox continuity. But I think it's a great thing, and I just hope that they're not afraid to make R-rated movies, and not necessarily with X-Men movies, but they're also getting properties like Alien and other Fox properties. Yep. So I hope that just because it's Disney, and I don't think this will be the case, I would imagine Fox operates as a branch of Disney that is, I guess financially, however that works, funded by Disney, however all that breaks down behind the scenes. But I think that you can still get R-rated Fox movies, but you finally have fucking the X-Men in the MCU, which to me is the most exciting possibility besides a Nova movie, because I want to see Nova in the future.
Oh my God, yeah. God. There's so many people like that I just can't wait for them to introduce. through when you got to watch Guardians of the Galaxy, you get to see the Collector, and you see Howard the Duck, and like you see you see so many things if you just pause the movie and you get to look around and just kind of like check out everything, and then Howard's obviously made appearances in some of the other movies and stuff. So
yeah,
that maybe somewhere along the line he's gonna pop in. It's like they obviously throw these teasers.
Wasn't he in Ragnarok? Was it Ragnarok?
No.
I don't know.
No.
I'm trying to remember what other movie he was in that I saw him in. I can't remember.
I think he was in both Guardians.
Yeah, I think he made a quick appearance in one, but I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
It was the end credits of the first Guardians.
Yeah.
And then a quick little appearance in something since. It was either Guardians 2 or Thor Ragnarok, but I don't remember which one.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it opens up so many windows. It's crazy. Let me see what we got here. Lynn Riger. Lynn Riger wants to know, do you have a dream person to interview that you haven't interviewed yet?
Robert Downey Jr., I guess. It was The Rock, but I've been lucky enough to meet him a couple times now, which is the coolest thing. I definitely think Robert Downey Jr., dude, he's like the biggest part of how I ended up even getting the job. Like those movies started pointing me in this direction.
Right.
So, yeah, I think definitely RDJ.
Okay. Chelsea wants to know, do you ever get nervous interviewing? Do you still get nervous? Or is there anybody, I mean, I'll even add up to that. Has there anybody, if you got an interview with Robert Downey Jr., would you be like, oh boy?
Yeah, I think that's one way I'd fanboy a little bit.
Yeah.
The whole fanboy aspect of it is kind of worn off for me, I think. At first, I'd be like, dude, can we take a selfie? Like, I'm so excited to be. Now it's like, I still get excited, but I look at it more as I have a job to do. Like, when I was at Ant-Man and the Wasp, it was like I'm sitting outside Paul Rudd's room about to go interview him, but instead of just getting geeked out, I was sitting there focused, like, trying to run through my questions so I wouldn't have to look at a notepad during the interview. I did get a little nervous for Kevin Feige just because of how high profile that interview is and how much that means to our site and to the what you can get out of that.
Right.
So I got a little bit nervous for Kevin Feige, I think, out of pressure. But I was just stoked to meet Evangeline Lilly, like to really talk to her because I'm a huge Lost fan.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I would definitely get a little nervous before RDJ because he's also quick, man. Talk about Ryan Reynolds. RDJ is pretty snappy.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing. Like what you do, look with some of the people that we've had on our show. Like when we got Xander on, when we got Seth Gilliam. I mean, like we were in baby stages. Like we were like still really trying to perfect this whole thing that we do, and it's like, oh man, I was like, what? Like this is live. Like there's no do overs. Kind of thing. Like so
one shot and that's it.
Yeah, and. And then having Garrett on, it was just like, dude, I was like, this guy is like the #1 person on Sundays right now that people are like waiting to like see, between him and Jenna, and it's just like he's going to be on our show.
Yep.
I guess I don't show it. I mean, too much. I know that there was when we were at Walker Stalker Con and I met Atlanta because I love Atlanta Masterson. Yeah. I fanboyed hard, man. I was like. Oh my God, what do I do? I was like, I want to give her a shirt, this, that, blah, blah, blah. So, but now, like, when we have people on, it's the same thing, like you said. It's like, obviously, we don't get paid to do this, but it's like, time to go to work. This is our hobby. We love it. And it's like, let's do this,
Yeah. That's awesome. I mean, you guys do a good job.
We try, man. And we're trying to grow up and be like you one day. You and Dave Solo, like, that's just like one,
when I grow up, I want to be like you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, still trying to.
You seem so much bigger, I promise.
I do. I like baby steps, I would just.
Yeah.
It's all right.
No, you're killing it. You guys do a great job, man. And to get those guys on, and that's big, man. To get Xander and Seth and Garrett, I mean, that's super cool for them to do it. But that just speaks to what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and I mean,
I think it was funny with Seth though. When we had him on the show, there's 2 stories about him really quick. When we first had him on our show, Chris and I, this is not a diss or an insult to anybody we've ever had on our show, but at that time that was the first main character from the show that we had on,
Yeah.
And so we're like, you know, we're shitting bricks at this point.
Oh man.
And I mean, we're looking at each other like, dude, this is fucking happening. Like, literally, like, it's gonna happen in like 30 seconds, you know. And so then he hops on Skype with us for our normal pre-show call, and we go live with him, right? And I forgot what happened, but I said fuck, and I went
like, yeah.
And then I think he picked up on it because even Chris was like,
yeah.
And so then Chris tries to roll with it. He's like, Seth, I apologize. He goes, man, I don't give a fuck. And I'm like, all right. And after that point, we were just, I mean, we were busting each other's balls and just, it was a good time. And then when we saw him at Chicago, you know, this past March,
right?
And you know, we were last in line for his photo op because we were on JDM's photo op line, and Walker Stalker does a very good job at what they do, but some things have not still been perfected. And the fact that they have photo ops that are done at the exact same time is a little, you know, whatever. So we go running into Seth's booth, you know, into his area where they do the photo ops. And
he was done.
He was done. And there was nobody else there.
Yeah.
The photographer already knew us. He recognized the shirts. He recognized who we were because we'd done so many photo ops to that point. And he was also in Jersey the year before.
Yeah.
And he recognized us. So he starts laughing because he sees us come running in like a bunch of idiots. And Seth looks like he's packing his stuff up. And Chris goes, where you go, motherfucker? And he turns around and he goes, oh, you fucking guys! And he's like freaking out. He comes over and hugs us. And it was just a really cool moment that he was just like,
yeah, awesome.
You know, he treated us like you know, college friends he hasn't seen in 20 years. You know, and that was a really cool experience.
It's one thing I can.
Awesome.
It's one thing I can definitely say, and I'm sure you. I mean, for everyone you've met, you know, you always have like these. I don't want to say fears, but you always have like these pre-assumptions, you know, kind of thing. And there's never been anything but professionalism and just like family feel with everyone we've ever been with, you know. And it's just great to know, like you said, when, you know, The Rock was like, oh, Brandon, what's up? Like, when these people say our names, we're like, you remembered my name? You know, like...
Yeah, amazing.
it
feels good. It's like a really humbling and rewarding feeling all the same.
It feels great.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, so question from Renee. Renee wants to know, what can you tell us about An Evening with Norman and Jeffrey? It's a FanFest event that you're co-hosting.
Yeah, that actually, I'm really excited about that. It's going to be Norman, Jeffrey, myself, and James Frazier, who I'm sure everybody's familiar with, the CEO of Walker Stalker. We're going to do a panel. It's not necessarily going to be very Walking Dead oriented. The panel is going to be more of just like a let's have fun, let's get to know each other, let's kind of shoot the shit, and have an experience that you don't get at Walker Stalker. So they're going to... I'm not too involved with like the behind the scenes of that. They just asked me to come host, and they told me about the event. It's going to be 800 people. We're in the Georgia World Congress Center. I think it's going to be a lot like their parties.
Right.
Have you ever been to the parties where everyone's just kind of walking around, and I'm sure you know, Jeffrey and Norman will kind of be, you know, surrounded by people, and everyone's going to want to talk to them.
Right.
But it's going to be intimate in that regard, where you just got to go talk. There's going to be drinks, there's going to be games, there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to do. I'm going to be running around talking to people. I'm going to be on stage hosting that, which still to me is pretty crazy because I've always been bugging James, like, dude, let me host the Andy Lincoln panel, let me host the Jeffrey D. Morgan panel in Atlanta.
Right.
And he thought of me and texted me, and we ended up doing that. So I think it's going to be a fun night. I think it's going to definitely try to have a different feel from a convention because it's, I mean, you imagine that ballroom where the World Congress Center has.
Right.
You guys have been to Atlanta, right?
We haven't been to the Walker Stalker in Atlanta, no.
Okay. So, well, they have the big ballroom, which usually seats about 1,700 people, I think, I want to say, maybe 2,000. And you're cutting that in more than half. So, I mean, I know it's not a very personal thing. I've seen some people on Twitter say, you guys are charging a lot of money and it's 800 people still. But I think it's definitely an experience. Like, you get your photo op, you get assigned gear, you get a whole bunch of merch, you get to have some drinks, you get to shoot the shit with Jeffrey and Norman and have this fun, I think we're going to have a silly, fun, stupid, fun panel that is going to be a good time. We get to know them on a level that isn't like just talking about The Walking Dead. And what's your favorite scene? And who's your favorite co-star? That type of stuff. Because those questions get asked all the time. We're going to try to do something different with it.
That's cool. That's cool. So let's let you do some self promotion here. What do you got? So Walker Stalkers and stuff like that. Do you got anything coming up with them?
I'm going to go to Orlando with them. I'm not sure what role I'm going to play there exactly. Hopefully get in on a bunch of panels. Hopefully host a bunch of stuff. I'll probably do some interviews you'll see on comicbook.com. And then a couple days later, or the next week, we have the Atlanta event. And of course, I mean, we have San Diego Comic-Con coming up for comicbook.com in like 3 weeks, which is the busiest week of my year. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to get more involved with Walker Stalker because I love what they do. I love the people who work there. And I mean, it's like the one place where everybody gets together. Like you have something in common with everybody there.
Right.
So it's just, you get to be yourself and have fun. So I would love to do more shows with them. It all just depends on my schedule with comic book and things I'm doing there. But hopefully, I mean, I can go. I would love to go to every show they do. So we'll see if that works out. We'll see what Atlanta and Orlando go and go from there.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, if you do keep rolling with it, we'll see you in Jersey in December.
I was supposed to come to New Jersey last year. I forget what happened. I was really pissed because my mom was living in New Jersey at the time, and I was supposed to go, and I had to call her and say, I got them holding tickets for you, but I can't come. I forget what happened. I think I had to go. Something came up. Something came up from some movie I had to go cover, as horrible as that was. But something came up where I didn't get to go, and my mom was bummed. She ended up just grabbing a friend, and she went and walked around all day. But I had to miss it. I'm going to try to go to this one for sure.
All right. So are you still hosting the San Diego Comic-Con panels?
No. AMC was actually really sweet. They reached out to me to let me know they have a plan. They haven't told me what the plan is. But they saw the petition. I don't know if you guys saw that there was a petition. It was amazing to me that somebody started a petition to get me up at Hall H. I'm holding out hope that maybe they'll be like, hey, we want you to do Fear the Walking Dead.
Right.
But I'll be at the panel, but I won't be. I don't expect to be hosting it. But you never know. One of my ultimate goals in life and in this career is to host a Hall H panel at San Diego Comic-Con. Okay. So the fact that anybody even thought I could do that now was really cool. But we'll see. But they said they have a plan in place. I don't know what the plan is yet, but they've been in touch with me. And who knows? San Diego's going to be fun, though. It's a zoo. Have you guys ever been?
No, man. I said, we've been doing this for 3 years. We just are 2 years. Yeah, 3 years, and then 2 years with Ryan. So our first con was Jersey.
First
Walker Stalker.
I've been to like New York Comic Con before, and that's one of my favorite things to do. But yeah. Yeah,
as far as like being an identity there as you know what we do,
not just an attendee.
We went on the vendor pass with one of the artists, Oscar Rodriguez.
Cool.
So we went where Oscar got us in. We hung out with him, and that was the first Walker Stalker we went to. We went to Chicago this past year, and that show was huge. I was down at Sonoya for the startup that they did. Scott Spillman, Oscar, and Xander was one of the artists there, as well as Robin, who was the black and white guy. They did this startup, all got together. It was mainly Oscar and Scott and their significant others started this event down in Sonoya, and they asked me to come down there and MC it and everything, and that was just intimate, and it was around 400 people, and I mean for all the talent they had there, it was such a great event. I mean, something that I wish would have been like 2 days long instead of 5 hours, because I'm sure you never get to like do enough. Like you feel like when you're at an event, it's like you don't get to experience everything going on because you're too busy doing what you want to do. And then like you see all these other photos and everything that was going on, you're like, damn, I missed out on so much.
Yeah.
But yeah. So now our next one would be Jersey coming up in December that we'd like to actually get a media pass for and start that kind of thing, So
yeah.
I mean that's pretty
cool.
much it. Anything else you have going on you wanna talk about? Throw out there.
I think the music video, Walker Stalker, do Comic Book Now on Thursdays.
Yep.
I have a short film that I'll be releasing online before the year's over called Stay that I'm excited for people to see. That a lot of people helped crowdfund from social media. So we're finally going to put that out after we take it to a few festivals late this year. And that's it. I'm really excited for people to see the music video. We're going to shoot that and get cut up and posted. Hopefully really, really quick turnaround. It'll be after San Diego because we're shooting it the weekend before that, and there's no way I'll have time to work on it, to edit it in that time. But really excited for people to see me and Peter's music video.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it because everything that Peter ever puts out, I take it, like it, retweet it. Him and I have a nice little conversation going on in our private messages.
There you go.
So stuff that I always like to find these things on on his social media, and I send it to him, and I'm like, this is cute, because he's always got Peter. He's got his shirt off all the time. I mean that's. He's, no more bun, but he's got the shirt off now, and I'm just like, all right, I see you, I got you, but
I kind of made a comment in the chat earlier, just how much it's amazed me, how much the actors and actresses from the show have opened up their arms to us and kind of welcomed us like we're family. Just it just blows my mind. Like Jason Warner Smith has been a very, very good friend of ours. We showed up to Chicago, and Chris's girlfriend Vanessa was with us, and she goes, "Hey guys, isn't that your shirt?"
Oh, yeah.
And we happen to just look over, and we're with Oscar's wife Casey, and we look over, and there's Jason. He's on the main stage panel with Pollyanna McIntosh, Stephen Ogg, and Cooper Andrews, I think it was.
Yeah.
And they're answering questions, and he's wearing our Beast Mode shirt, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Dude,
I just couldn't
they're
believe
the coolest people, man. I think that's also a huge reason why the show is so successful. For as good as it can ever be, the cast engages with their fan base better than anything I've ever seen before. I think that the audience, especially when you meet them at a convention or you just interact with people online, you're never going to not watch the show after that. You're never going to miss an episode after you have that experience and you see these people who are so cool. After New York Comic Cons, I think it was this past New York Comic Con, I was in the panel at Madison Square Garden, and they let me bring my mom to it. They gave me a pass for my mom. And as soon as it was over, I actually called Greg Nicotero because he just got off stage, and I left him a voicemail, and I just thanked him because this show has done a huge thing. It's helped my career tremendously. That's because these people are so friendly, and the interviews I've done with them and the things I've covered with the show have really. The Walking Dead was the first big thing for my career. It was the first thing that helped me develop a following and interact with the fan base, and I thank them for all that. And I mean, he's a tremendous dude. He texted me back and we talked about it a little bit, but I just feel like the show and the personalities behind this show are a huge reason why it's so successful, because they're just all great people and you root for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that being said, are you going to be at New York Comic Con this year?
I will be at New York Comic Con this year.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I'll hit you up and see if we can meet up and maybe take a selfie or something.
Yeah,
dude, sure, let's do that.
And if you do, take like a selfie for me too, even though you'll be in it, and just send it to me.
So you want me to have a crystal?
Yeah, you don't have to take a crystal. And then there's this doll that circulates. Ryan's known as Pookie, so we had a Pookie doll stand-in at the event that I did in Sonoya. So this doll,
couldn't be there. I was part of a wedding that I really couldn't obviously get out of.
This doll now has his own Twitter page. It's called The Adventures of Pookie, and it's pretty amusing. He had chocolate pudding on National Pudding Day, and it was great. A lot of people are excited for your movie, the short film you're talking about. I do have a real quick. Linda said, last question. A short movie. You said that it's called Stay?
Yeah, it's called Stay. We have a Facebook page. We haven't been very active on it. We released like one clip that I can probably just find my old tweet and retweet that. So if anybody wants to find that,
do that. See it. Absolutely.
What's that?
Do that, because I mean, there's definitely a lot of interest for it in the chat.
And tag us in it. We'll retweet it.
Yeah.
If you tag us, we'll retweet it. We'll spread the good word.
Yeah, it's 9.5 minutes long. I wrote it, I produced it, and I played the supporting role in it. And it's about a couple that hasn't seen each other in 3 years. And when they come together, they can't spend very much time together for circumstances beyond their control.
Mm-hmm.
And when you find out why, that's kind of the purpose of the film, is finding out why this couple can't stay together. And hopefully it kind of hits you in the feels.
I'm already intrigued.
Yeah, seriously.
No, I'm being dead ass. I'm already intrigued.
Well, good. Appreciate it.
So I mean, writing and directing is definitely something you want more in your future?
I would love to, man. I mean, I love what I do. I love my job. I pinch myself each day because this is incredible. But I mean, ultimately, dream job for me is directing and acting. But who knows? I mean, it's not something. This is never a job that I could just walk away from to go do something like that. I love what I do. I'm committed to what I do. And if an opportunity came up, or if I were able to make more opportunities by producing films that I can do, or do these things like the music video theater, I'll never turn them down.
Right.
So
absolutely.
We'll see what the future holds.
Listen, keep putting your hands in everything you can get it on, man. You know, just
yeah, man.
You know what you're doing is great. We love it, and everybody who's been here tonight enjoys everything you do. So, just keep doing you, man. We're proud of you. You know?
I mean, that means a hell of a lot, man. I appreciate that. I really fucking thank you to everybody who's watching, man. That's really awesome. I really appreciate it.
Some shout outs real quick, and then we're gonna cut you loose. I just want to give some shout outs to. Oh my God, where do I start? Well, I want to shout out to Chelsea. Thank you for hanging out with us. I know Chelsea's 3 hours behind us. So thanks for making time and hanging out with us. Great questions from Chelsea, by the way. I want to shout out Robin. Thank you for the message. We appreciate you once again taking the time. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to hurry up before I get taken out by Thanos. Those things are madly expensive. Those things are madly expensive, by the way. I went to go buy one. I was like, what the hell? So yeah, there's that.
Show off.
Yeah. What else you want to do with that thing besides give me the finger?
Take that how you will.
Yeah, I do want to make a shout out to Nicole Hurley. Now, Nicole is, for those of you who don't know...
She's here, by the way.
Is she?
Yeah, she's here.
Nicole's someone we've been trying to help out for a few weeks now. She has joined forces with Sabrina Gennarino, who was Tamiel on The Walking Dead. She also... Sabrina has crap-free skincare and is trying to... Well, basically what we're trying to do is help out Nicole, get back on her feet. She's disabled. She's got a ton of things that were donated from even the stuff, shirts from us, signed autographs, signed pops. I mean, you name it. People have donated things to her, so that way she could turn around and then have people basically buy them as a donation to her and her cause. So anybody out there, if you guys look. Even if you send her $5 through her oh my God, what's it called?
PayPal.
Well, the PayPal, but yeah, it's the GoFundMe. But also, she has all these items that are there that you can have a chance of getting. And look, this is not.
Is there a link or anything I can go retweet and share that with people?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll send it to you in your DM.
Wait, yeah, I would love to post that.
Yeah. And look, this is something that's legit. This is not a gimmick. This is not something that's someone's trying to take advantage of you. Number one, Sabrina wouldn't be involved in something like that. Yeah. We wouldn't be involved in something like that. And, it's just pay it back a little bit if you can. I know a ton of people have already done a lot. So this is for just, even if you take her tweet and retweet it, even if you take her post on Facebook and share it, whatever you can do. Doesn't have to be money. It could just be helping out, catching the eye of someone who might be willing to, want to get that signed pop by, I think it's Seth Gilliam. She has one. So, I mean, it is what it is. You guys just, try to do whatever you can as far as that goes. And let's try to help her out. She's got a goal she wants to reach. She's looking to get a vehicle so she can bring her son back and forth to school. Basic things like go to the doctor that she can't do right now. So other than that, I want to say happy birthday to Marcus Pullen as well. It's his birthday. Another actor from The Walking Dead. And
played one of the trash people, right?
Yeah, he played one of the heapsters.
Yep.
So happy birthday, Marcus. I hope it was a good one. And our biggest shout out to Brandon. Thank you so much for spending an hour and a half with us. We really appreciate it. You great guest, great guy. We wish nothing but the best for you in your future. and maybe we can have you back on. You know, you let us know. We'd love to have you back on in the future, man. It'd be great.
And, I mean, I really, really appreciate you guys having me on. This was a lot of fun, dude. I hope everybody watching had a good time. And you guys said a lot of really nice things, so you can stop lying now.
No.
But no, I'm just kidding.
That's after we end the stream. That's after we end the stream. We'll just trash talk the entire time afterwards.
No, absolutely not.
I appreciate you guys, man. This was a good time.
It was.
Other than that, everybody, thank you for your questions. Great questions. Don't forget to go follow Brandon. We posted his link to his social media. It's the same on all the formats. Instagram, Twitter.
At Brandon Davis
BD. Yep. So go follow him.
Boom.
Stay on. Top of what he's got going on. And then you'll know where he's gonna be, where he's not gonna be, and what he's got going on next. So. And yes, definitely share that link with us for Stay, and we'll take care of it from there. We'll do all the retweeting.
Sweet.
Everybody out there, please be safe. It's just we got holidays coming up, things happen, and just everybody stay safe. Tell your parents you love them. Tell your kids you love them. Hug a stranger. Whatever you got to do. I don't know.
If we're not back before, happy 4th of July to everybody.
We're probably not going to be here next week.
Yeah.
We got the holiday, my birthday. Finishing my move, so that way we don't have brown paneling behind us anymore.
Ready for my move, so that's
We'll say bye to the brown paneling forever. It'll be nice.
We're gonna invest in a big ass green screen,
Yeah, we're gonna actually have Brandon sit right here in the middle.
Yeah,
it'll be cool. So all right, everybody, peace out. Thank you very much. I have no idea what that was. All right, later, everybody. Peace out. Brandon, don't go nowhere.
Don't do it. Don't you do it.
Yeah. We got to wait until we end the live stream.
Because YouTube has to make everything
If there's any spoilers you want to release, you